All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. All right, before I get going, I want to thank this band. They're called Hit the Ground Runnin'. And if you're really into AOR and you understand that this band was on the verge of a big breakthrough back in the day, like the 80s and early 90s, this is one of those things you go back and listen to it, and it's kind of like listening to an old friend that you thought you knew. This is just really well done AOR style music from that era. And it's sad because there are all kinds of stories about bands that were on the verge of having the big breakthrough, and for whatever reason, fate, the music industry, it just never worked out. So in any event, good guys over at Hitting the Ground Running. They have a new album in the works. I'm hopeful to talk about that when it comes out. Also, if you like great music by classic artists, please listen to Modern Retro Radio. That's modernretrofm.com. Yours truly is over there helping to promote the new Mitch Malloy material, which is also out and available to purchase. Just a great singer, Mitch Malloy, who hasn't lost a step. Another guy who hasn't lost a step, and there aren't a lot of them, folks. If I'm going to be honest with you, someone sent me some footage from the great Lou Gramm, who is doing a tour. I'm not going to dwell on Lou. He's out there. Foreigner is out there. There were a bunch of plastic chairs that were set up. Those folding chairs or whatever. People brought their own furniture to enjoy Lou Gramm. So the concert itself may not be the most high-end affair, but you are getting to see a legend. Another guy who's a legend who doesn't get, the proper amount of respect for a couple of reasons is a guy by the name of Max Carl. Max Carl, who was in 38 Special for 2 albums. Don Barnes had left the scene, and I think it was due to health reasons, but I always get that messed up. I'm not sure if Don Barnes just got fed up with stuff and needed a break from the road, or there were health issues going on there. He would later come back to 38 Special in 1997, but Max Carl came in and I think did a phenomenal job. A very different voice. This was similar to, say, Sammy Hagar replacing David Lee Roth. The two voices are nothing alike. And in the case of Max Carl, he brought some really great pipes to 38 Special, and Second Chance, I think, is technically the band's biggest top 40 song. Definitely went to #1 on every adult contemporary chart at the time. I think it hit #2 or 3 on Billboard, which was Highway Robbery for a song on the top 40 in those days. You could actually make a song like that, and this was a song that Max had in his arsenal of songs for quite some time. He didn't think the band would buy into it. I think he sold them on it because it was so very different from what 38 Special was all about. Needless to say, the song is still played on adult contemporary stations today, and Max Carl is out there performing with Grand Funk Railroad. So this is another reason why he doesn't get the respect that he deserves, because people are still mad about Mark Farner not being in Grand Funk Railroad. There should be a reunion. You hear this all the time, and I more or less agree with that. But you can go hear Max Carl in Grand Funk singing all of the Grand Funk classics, or many of them, and then you can hear him singing Second Chance, just like he did back in 1989. It's phenomenal. And he hasn't lost a step. I mean, this guy kind of looks a little like Steven Seagal now. Just a couple of comments I read. It's like, how did Steven Seagal get a guitar? Shouldn't he have a gun instead? But Max just belts songs out like it's time travel. And I want to do more positive stuff like this, where I highlight a guy who obviously can still sing like he did back in the day, because there are so few of them left. Paul Rodgers has new material out there. He's another one of those guys. Eric Clapton, I think, sounds amazing. 78 years old, and honestly, he sounds just like he did back in the 90s. So you have to, mention the good stuff. I understand that I get into these, curmudgeon ruts where I'm just kind of like, this just isn't very good, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, the plastic chairs at the Lou Gramm concert, like, that's something I want to do. I don't even know if I want to go see Foreigner, maybe just for the fact that it's the last time you can do it, because these tours, even though they go on for a very long time, eventually, it's going to be over. But Max Carl, I wanted to give him props because he's such a great singer. There's another tune by 38 Special that you should listen to with his voice, because he just nails the song, and it's such a great track. It's called The Sound of Your Voice, and it hit #1 on mainstream rock radio in 1991. The song has been completely forgotten about, and I may post it in our Patreon group. By the way, if you want to sign up for Patreon, $1 a month to help the channel. Also, don't forget to check out Modern Retro Radio. And one more shout out to this band here, Hit the Ground Runnin', and this is their album Control Yourself. They also sent me another album called Sudden Impact. Some lips on the cover. Kind of Rolling Stone-ish, maybe? The Rolling Stones, not the magazine. All right, so yeah, definitely check out those things. A lot to check out in this video. And Max Carl, if you have a chance to go see Grand Funk, I would do it. I mean, the dude is amazing. And yeah, it doesn't make up for the fact that Mark Farner and Grand Funk aren't together, and they should be. But, if you're going to replace somebody and you want somebody to have a great voice and to be able to keep the band's legacy alive, Max Carl is your man. All right, people, that's it for me. I'm done. Thanks. See you soon.